Welcome, everyone, to this week's Shorty podcast episode of the What We Meant to Say podcast with Jake and Hines. Let's take a weekly look at upcoming streaming, TV, video game, and film releases, and also provide some historic references for the week ahead. Let the Shorty begin. Let's take a look back at things that happened prior to 2022 for the week of November 6th to November 12th. Brought to us by songfacts.com.
November 6, 2014, AC/DC drummer Phil Rudd is charged with attempting to procure murder charges, which are later dropped. The charge it causes a lot of downloads for Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap.
So true. So true.
That's funny. November 6, 2012, U.S. President Barack Obama wins re-election. November 6th, 1970, Aerosmith plays their first ever gig at the Nipmuc Regional High School in Massachusetts. They go on to become the best-selling rock and roll band ever.
That's hard to believe.
Are they really?
Huh. Yeah. Well, think how many albums they pumped out.
That's true.
No connection to the song Pump. But it's hard to believe 1970. It seems like it should have been earlier, but that's when it was.
No. Okay. November 7th, 2006, Britney Spears files divorce from Kevin Federline.
Just didn't work out.
No, just didn't work. November 7th, 1997, the Titanic soundtrack is released and sells over 10 million copies and exposes a lot of people to too much Celine Dion.
that song was whatever the name of it was. Oh, man.
My Heart Will Go On. It will be stuck in my head for 3 days now. November 7th, 1969. Paul McCartney is not dead as he graces the cover of Life magazine to prove the rumor wrong.
That's crazy. It was like a picture of his family. Like people really thought he was dead.
Yeah, that's really wild. November 8th, 2016. Donald Trump wins election as President of the United States of America. November 8th, 2002, the film 8 Mile is released in theaters. It stars Eminem. The Lose Yourself theme song goes on to win Oscar for Best Original Song.
I was surprised by that.
It's a great song. I love that song. November 8th, 1971, Led Zeppelin 4, the one with Stairway to Heaven, is released. November 9th, 1999. The Beatles are announced as the highest selling artists of the 20th century with 106 million albums. Elton John's 1997 Candle in the Wind is the century's best-selling single, with the Eagles' greatest hits from 1971 to 75 as the century's best-selling album.
I don't really remember Candle in the Wind.
Oh, you don't? Wasn't that right around the time that Princess Diana died and he did like kind of a remake of that song for her or something like that?
Now that you bring it up, I think that might have been that. Still don't remember it though.
Yeah. November 9th, 1967, the first issue of Rolling Stone is published with a photo of John Lennon on the cover. I did not know that. That's interesting. November 10th, 1979, Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang becomes the first rap song to break the Billboard Hot 100. That's such a cool song. I love it. November 10th, 1969, Sesame Street debuts on American Public Television. 1969? Really? Wow, it's that old?
Well, if you look at some of the styles of the characters they had, totally 60s looking clothing in the set. Totally 1960s looking.
That's a good point. All right, and our last one, November 11th, 2011, Black Sabbath announced they will reunite with their original lineup and release a new record.
Let's take a look at upcoming film, TV, video game, and streaming releases for the week of November 6th to November 12th, brought to us by denofgeek.com. All right, starting with Netflix, on the 9th, the documentary FIFA Uncovered. Do you know what FIFA stands for?
I don't off the top of my head, but is this a documentary talking about all the nasty stuff about the FIFA organization?
About the Qatari games. Yep.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of really bad things. Oh, that'll be really interesting to watch. Yeah, definitely.
And much to my happiness, because I wasted time watching the first 4 seasons of it, so finally it's coming to an end. On the 9th, The Crown Season 5, the last season, comes out.
I've not watched that. So you didn't like it? You didn't care for it?
It's okay. I mean, I watched it, but it's kind of one of those things like I don't know what's real and what's not. And
Oh,
like they even came out just recently and they said like it is partially based on true events, but it's it's fictional because of the deaths that recently happened. So it's kind of tough to figure out what's fact or fiction in that show.
okay.
On HBO Max on the 8th, Say Hey, Willie Mays documentary comes out. Also on the 9th, this is good because I've never seen the ones in season, but Hard Knocks in season with the Arizona Cardinals comes out.
Oh,
And I do have to say, Hard Knocks Detroit Lions this season was actually pretty good because they got a good coach. It's entertaining.
okay. Okay.
On Apple TV Plus on the 11th, Mythic Quest Season 3 debuts.
Oh yeah, that is from Rob McElhenney of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. My wife and I just a few months ago watched seasons 1 and season 2, so I had no idea that season 3 was coming out. So I'm very pumped about this news. This is great.
That's why we do this podcast. That's why we do
Yep.
the shorty. Let people know what's coming up. All right. So, Jake, what are you watching this week?
Not a whole lot. We finished watching Schitt's Creek for the umpteenth time, and now we finally started a new show. We are working on the latest season of The Handmaid's Tale. We're only a couple episodes in. It's been a little slow so far, but I've heard it gets real good. So that's about it. That's all I got. And I'm sure we'll binge Mythic Quest like as soon as it comes out.
I'm going to be checking out. I'm going to be finishing Curb Your Enthusiasm season 10. They do have season. I think they have a season 12 they're coming through. That will be coming out sometime, I think, in December, something like that. So I got a couple seasons to finish up, but I'll get those done. And yes, I am done with Friends season 10, if I remember correctly. And I just have the last season left. It is getting so cheesy. I understand now why people did not like it. It's just getting so cheesy at the end, but that's all right. And I got 2 episodes left of Cobra Kai, and I'll be done with season 5 of that.
Oh,
So
yeah, the last 2 are like the juiciest. So enjoy. You got
yeah,
something really exciting to look forward to.
yeah. All right. Well, that's all we got for this week on the Shorty Podcast. We got everyone up to date on their history. We got everyone up to date on what's coming out. So now it's time to just go out and enjoy the week.
Bye.
See ya.